what have I seen? I've seen a world on fire and went through a raging storm. Now I walk through open fields, unsure of what the next journey will be. I've seen hell, and I lived in heaven. Such contradictory phrases, but it's true. I'm not a religious person in the slightest, but I am a person who does enjoy a good symbolism, metaphor, idioms, etc., etc. I keep wishing for the best in this world. For everyone. But I know I can't make a difference. The only difference I can make is through these videos I have. And with the interactions I have with the people around me. In the end, it's a small change that I could try to build upon. I could try to help create. But that's as far as I can go. But with each influence, it can help breed the next step for our greater tomorrow. Even though I can see how terrible this world can be and how awful us human beings can be, I'm not deterred by the fact that I still see hope. I still see a place where we can all find a ground where we can all stand upon. But that's going to take a long time. I understand one of the big problems that comes through with these videos is that I express, but I don't bring up any concrete solutions to the problems presented. And I say things very generalized. But the thing is, right, as I had stated before in some of my previous recordings, or whatever you'd like to call these, right, every interaction will elicit an outcome. And each outcome is determined through how we present our interactions, our choices, and how others will perceive them. And then it becomes a dance, where one will move too quickly or another too harshly that causes one to stumble or lose interest in the dance. We need to learn to take it easy, one step at a time. We need to learn to find our places of understanding, our places of a middle ground. Though I do understand that there will be times where there are some things where there is not a middle ground. It either is or is not. And it'll be a struggle to try to find a way to go through it. Unfortunately, given how we are as human beings, even though this is more of a nihilistic take right now, it will only elicit violence or a negative reaction that will cause more problems later on. More problems that should not exist. But if we are to learn, if we are able to teach compassion, understanding, find ways to help people find the best ways possible to deal with emotions that are so strong that it'll cause problems, right? Find ways to manage those. It will come a long way. But we all need to be open-minded. We all need to be understanding. And we all need to find a way to push past our own egos, our own guess, our own hemisphere of who we are, so that way we do not lose control of ourselves. See, one of the few things that I've learned in this life is a need for control. It's a big thing. And it could be the most helpful thing, or it could be the most dangerous thing. What I mean by control, I mean us being able to understand ourselves, understand how we operate, why we operate, and what reactions will come. If we could learn to control the negative emotions that come out of certain outcomes, then we will be better. What I mean by negative reactions, I mean emotions like anger, frustration, sadness, jealousy, envy, pride, ego. If we learn to control those emotions better and find ways to extend ourselves outwards, then there can be change. And if we can teach that to others, then there can be change. But we need to learn how to do it within ourselves first. Another thing to know. Maybe to some degree this could be contradictory, but we also can't force upon our own ideals to others. We can't force others to try to change for the better. To some degree, unfortunately, I speak with this with experience. From friends to lovers. Mainly a lover. I had remembered seeing how much I had seen the pain of their lives from everything that they've experienced and how badly it was affecting them. I loved them a lot, and I wanted the best for them. And because I was able to manage myself, or at least I had grown so much that I had seen more, I thought I was within a place to help them. Try to help force about a change. That was wrong of me, and I can admit that. Why did I do that? That is another question. Because we also need to understand why we go about it. Now, I could say through a million different emotional reasons as to why I did it, but quite simply, I will not try to, use emotions as the foreground of things. Or at least I will not speak in an emotional manner. I will speak straight, logical, and factual. I loved them a lot. They meant a lot to me. I didn't want to see them hurt. I didn't want them to suffer. And I didn't want to lose them. It was fear. And a road to a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because of those emotions, because I lost control, because I was scared, it caused me to lose them. Completely. To give some more context to this, after our breakup, I decided to fight the urge to reach out. 5 months passed, even though it was something I really wanted to do. I fought it. I tried to control my emotions. I tried to be at peace. I tried to keep a balance. And then I reached out with the expectations that there was a chance for a relationship to continue. And I was sorely mistaken. And one of the reasons they had explained to me was because it felt like I was trying to force about change to them. That I was viewing them as my own project. To a degree, they were correct. I did want to force about change. But it was because I only wanted the best for them. Not because I saw them as a personal project to work on. One of the things to note here is that the people in my life, the ones closest to me, understand that I enjoy psychology a lot, philosophy as well. That's why I do these videos, or recordings, to say the least. Because I want to help put my own ideals out into the world to help. And I want to do it in a better way than I struggle to do, right? That I cannot do so easily within myself because I fail. But I fail because I'm human. I was raised to have good morals, to help others, be kind, understanding. But sometimes in this world, even when we're taught those morals, we stray sometimes, and we fail. But with those failures, we have to learn and grow. Sometimes we lose ourselves. But regardless of that, I express all this so that way others can see it's okay to show a vulnerable side, to show that we do struggle, to show that we do feel pain, and it's okay to express it. I understand there are many parts of this world that have different ways in expressing emotions, in showing emotions, in how we should act and how we should be, and it's controlling to a degree. To me, simply put, I think we're all just human beings that no matter where you're from, we still feel. But because we're influenced by the environments around us, it causes problems. Sometimes it helps others, sometimes it's more detrimental than it should be. Because of it, it causes a lot of friction between others, between people. Sometimes it causes people to completely ignore others. Other times it pushes us to go too far. If we can learn to also understand the negative sides of ourselves and be able to call it out within ourselves and stare it in the face, it brings more clarity in perceiving this world and knowing how to make a better tomorrow. But that is all up to us to decide. We are amazing. We are strong and capable. But we could be so blinded and naive. We gotta learn to help each other, however it may be. And unfortunately, in a hypocritical tone, because I am not afraid to admit it, I do fail at times as well. I'll see a homeless person. I'll walk right past them in shame because I can't do anything for them. I wish I could do more, but sometimes I can't. And sometimes I do have a moment where I could, but sometimes I still walk away because I think about myself too much too. It's that ego. I still have my own responsibilities. I still have my own needs. Those are also just excuses. There are plenty of wonderful human beings out here who are dedicating so much time and effort in their own lives to help those less fortunate. Finding ways to donate, finding ways to spread awareness, all these things. And those people are amazing. And it gives me so much happiness to know there are people out there who are fighting that hard just to show some human decency that we all tend to lack, that we all tend to forget, that we are all capable of. I wish I could be like those people, but I'll only be a fraction of what they are. And my only means and ways of doing this is by talking here. Anyways, I leave this recording here, and I wish you a good day, a good night, and go for a better tomorrow and a better future.